Welcome, my name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord, and I have been working in my Scarlet Poppy Blaze journal for the Exploring Joy challenge that is happening in July 2025, and I've had several requests from the Facebook group and different places to make other little things available for this journal. And as I've been working in here, I've wished I had, one of these and one of those sort of thing. So I decided to make an add-on kit. So this is what the add-on kit looks like. There's 11 PDF pages, and it's the main kit with all of the journal pages and mixed media pages for all of your journal pages and pockets and all that kind of stuff is in the main kit. This is just some extra add-on things. So the first thing I have on here is the numbers 0 to 23. For the challenge, we have 23 days. So I thought I just have the 0 there for, you can use it as a decoration or throw it away. But I have from 1 to 23, and you can put those on your pages to mark which day you're working on. And then here I have some labels. It's kind of tiny print, but it says Exploring Joy, and then it's got our hashtag here, Faith Journal July 2025, and then it says date and verse. So this also could be used on the pages of your journal. So I'm thinking on my journal, I can cut out the circle and put it there and put the label. It's going to have the date that it was posted or the date that verse is posted, I guess, on the channel, on the guest channel, and the verse, and then I can put those on there. And I may print this out again, and I made a second journal for the Exploring Joy, and this is to house all my Bible study. So I don't know if I'll need it, because actually the labels are really, this is what I want on the label, like July 22nd and the verse. But I could put the numbers, I don't know, I'll figure out what I want to do. So that's just the first page. The second page, I had made some of these doilies and some of these word strips in the basic Bible study and ephemera kit, which a lot of you have picked up. I decided to put a couple more doilies just in the red color theme. I really love these doilies. I love using them in so many places, so I thought I'd add a couple more here. And then this is the same words that are in the Bible study and ephemera kit, but they're in neutral colors. That's just a tan color. And I wanted some bright, fun red to match my poppy kit. So this is the same words in red. And what they are is there's one strip for every verse, and it's just some of the words from that scripture passage, taken right out of the scripture passage that you can use on your daily entries. Then I'm going to save this one for the end. Then I have just some basic little note cards. They all have poppies in the background, and I thought sometimes we just need a little tiny tuck of some sort with a couple of notes. So just all different kinds of note cards and poppy backgrounds. Is that one. There's 9 of them. This one actually I'm going to save for a minute too. This is 9 cards that have scriptures on them. I see I have a little misprint there. I'll fix that. I have the verse double exposed. So these are all from the Psalms. So talking about joy or rejoicing from the Psalms. So I thought those would be a really nice addition as well. This is the page that took me the longest. I love making clusters. They're really fun to make, but they're very time consuming, but I think they're rewarding, and they really add something special to a page, I think. So I have 11 clusters here, so they all have poppies on them, butterflies, there's keys, there's clocks, did I say butterflies? Some of them have bees, all different. I think I have, a seed packet there, compass, all different sorts of things. There's a cross, and then they all have a joy label on them as well. So you can cut these out. I left quite a big border to cut out, So you can cut all of the border off if you want. I made these clusters specifically to be easy to cut out because I'm not a big fussy cutter, and I had a couple poppies on my last in my last kit, and they look tremendous on a page, but I really get tired of cutting in and out of the leaves and stuff. So if you're with me on that, you'll like these because they're just very, very simple to cut out. So there's those, and these are, you know, so flexible. You could easily print them out twice and use them in the same journal, and you're not going to even notice that they're in there twice because they got so much going on there. Then I made some tags, and I was inspired to make these from the tags that Diane showed on a recent video using watercolor splotches, and she did it with real watercolor, and I really do want to try that one day. I love watercoloring as well, but I thought I would make some digital ones for now. So these all have a hymn in the background talking about joy, and then colors that are in the poppy kit in watercolor splotches. And then I gave you 6 new joy labels down here, and these joy labels would be perfect on these tags or for whatever you like. Then I made 4 more tags, and these are a little bit longer. I really wanted some really long tags because I'm noticing the pockets that I'm making for my journal need really long tags. So I made this set of really long tags. I used the same background with the hymns, but then I collaged, or kind of mixed media applied some of the papers on top for color. And then each one of them has a watermark with joy in a different font on top. So those are some really tall ones. And then I had made this journal, just kind of, not even really a journal, notebook, I guess, sort of thing. And I had made these pages for myself with just exploring joy here and a poppy here and just kind of a fun, faint background. And I showed what I had done on the Facebook group, and people were really wanting to know where I found these from, and I made them, of course. So I thought I would add those into here as well. So these are full page sheets, just lined for whatever you want. And I printed, there's 2 different patterns, so I printed one on the front, one on the back. I'll punch my Happy Planner rings holes in there and insert it in my Happy Planner there. And then I took those same 2 pages and I shrunk them and made 4 cards, and I printed this one on cardstock, and these can be tucked into a pocket. It's got all the lines and everything as well. You can use it as the front of a booklet or different things. So there's that same page, but it's always useful if you have, you know, different sizes. And then the last one here is a page, and I'm going to give you instructions on how to do this in a second. There's a bookmark using IOUS, which I talked about in a video called about the daily checklist, about praying before you start. And this IOUS is just a really great way to start a study or to approach the Bible anytime you read. And the IOUS are just abbreviations for things that are found in Scripture, so I just have that down there for you. This is just whatever you want to use for a pocket, and this is a hidden paper clip, which I will show you how to make right now. This page, I think, needs a little bit of explanation, so I'm going to kind of just run you through it, rather. So, of course, you can use these things however you like. This one at the upper left is meant to be a bookmark. Very, very easy to put together. So I just cut it out in one piece. I didn't cut it apart. You can if you like. I think it's easier this way. I'm just going to line up that white line with one of the marks. Doesn't really matter which mark on your cutter, whichever one it wants to line up at. And score there. Fold it in half. And basically you have a bookmark. You can glue it just on this side and this side and leave it open, so you can use it, you know, if you're bookmarking your spot and maybe you want to tuck in an extra little prayer or something like that, you can leave it open like that. You can glue it completely down. You can put a little ribbon or something at the top. So or you can just completely fold it over and use it as a bookmark, glue it together. So that's how you use that, or that's how I intended or designed that. Of course, you can use it however you like. This is just simply a piece of, I just had an extra space really on this paper, and I wanted something pretty on it. This piece you can use as a pocket if you like. It's 5 1/4 inches, so it fits perfectly in a standard, I call it standard journal, 5.5 by 8.5. You could put a little thumb notch there if you want. You could fold it and make a little bit of a booklet. You could make it into like a kind of a journaling card, kind of make it, you know, this direction, tag, whatever. Many things. You could even cut it in half and make 2 panels for tags or something like that. This is the one I really wanted to just show you though. So I'm just going to cut this out by hand. So I just cut that out, just not on all of the individual inside lines, just one cut around the whole thing. Then I want you to just score on all of the black lines. And this is not meant to be on a specific line. Just line up the black line with whichever, you know, I'm moving this around until I get the black line somewhere right on a line, and I'm just scoring there. Everyone. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines to score on. Then you want to just fold. You can just pre-fold on all of these lines so that they're ready to go. As you're scoring them, just make sure that, you know, you're not scoring it like this, sort of cockeyed. You want this to be as straight as possible in order to make make this paper clip come together easily. You may have you likely have seen this if you've been around the junk journaling world for a while. You've likely seen this kind of paper clip before. I believe it originated with Sparkbird Studio, and lots of people jumped on the bandwagon and started making them and making printables and all that kind of stuff. So, and then it kind of faded into the background, I think, a little bit, but it's a fantastic paper clip, so I think it's worth bringing back. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do, this is optional, but it does make it easier to put on and off your paper. So if you fold it over, I guess turn it upside down and fold this back so just this, these top 2 panels are on the top and the rest is underneath, just like that. And then take just a small corner rounder. I have a quarter inch rounder there, and round those 2 bottom edges in that folded position. So when you open it up like this, you have that. Okay, and then look where it says hidden paper clip. Turn it over to the back, and on that panel where it says hidden paper clip, write short. And that the panel right below that, write long. I don't know if you can see all my lines here. Let's just mark them quickly. You don't have to do this at home, but just trying to show you on the camera where the lines are. Okay, so this one is behind the hidden paper clip, short, long. So you fold this line in between the short and the long. Flip it over to the short. I just find it easier that way. Take a paper clip. This is a 2-inch paper clip, a large paper clip. The way I'm doing it, you could use a smaller paper clip as well. The original way, you use the paper clip to make the folds, so you needed the proper size, but this one, it doesn't really matter, but I like to use the 2-inch one. So there's, on this paper clip, when you put it around the paper, there's a short side here, and that comes down to the line, and on the other side it's long, so it comes down to the second line, right? So you put it that way on the short and the long. Then what I want you to do is, probably sounds complicated, but it really is not once you make this a couple of times. Put glue all over this panel that says long, including this this little narrow panel there. And then fold this up and just kind of give that a press until your glue dries a little bit. Then we have this flap, and we want to glue this to the back. So we turn it around, we see short, and we see the short paper clip, and we see this flap. So just put glue on this flap, fold it over, and make that down. I actually have I made this several times, like a few years ago, and I have a playlist on my channel called Hidden Paper Clips, and I've made this at least twice on a video, maybe even more than twice. So, and I've made it with and without the printables. So if you're interested in more of this, go check that out, because there is you know, I walk through it in different examples and stuff. I'm just doing a kind of a quickie version here. Okay, so then I'm putting glue on where it says short with that little flap folded over and glued. I put glue all over that short. Then I put fold this up. And as you're working, just make sure all of your edges are kind of lined up side to side. We'll ink it at the end, but if you can get it as lined up as possible, it's easier. Then you flip it over to the back again, and then doesn't matter whichever flap you want, because this one's going to cover the other. I think they should be exactly the same size. So I just take the loose flap. I've got all the paper clip at the bottom, and this is just a loose flap at the top. And when you're gluing, you want a fair amount of glue. You don't want it to squish out everywhere, of course, but if you get right to the sides and stuff, it does help the paper clip just kind of stay together. And then you can just kind of give it a little squish again. And then I like to just give it a little bit of an ink. You know, you can kind of ink right on the edge there where that white could be showing. And you can just kind of pull this paper clip out a tiny bit. You probably could have inked that when you were rounding it. Would have been probably make more sense. And then you are going to see the back of it as well, so you can ink that as well. And then when you're putting it on your page, pretend this is my page, you just put it on like this, and you've got a paper clip, front and back. You can use this to say if I want to mark my place, I can use this to mark my place. And say I want to make sure that I have my bookmark on the current day so that I use that, I can tuck this into the bookmark, and then it's there. I can flip this open and say this is another card with information I have. I can slip that in the back if I like. You can also decorate the back. I don't know, you know, like one of the joys, or I don't have everything all at hand right at the moment, but you know, you can put one of your joys or different things on the back as well to decorate it if you like. So there is your hidden paper clip, and your bookmark, and your little pocket if you want to use it as a pocket. That would make a fantastic pocket. So that's that page.